Kraken fans, welcome back. It is Zach Miller and Peter Hale. It's the Midtown Madness Podcast. Before we get going, of course, thank you so much for listening. If you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. Also, you can support our partner, Two Men in a Garden, down below by scanning the QR code. You can also send us some money if you feel like supporting the show. Down at the right, another QR code for that. It is summertime. We're right off the back of the 4th of July. It's pool season. It's snack season by the pool. What you should have on hand in your pantry this summer is Two Men in a Garden salsa and Two Men in a Garden pickles. They are the St. Louis Salsa and Pickle Company. They have everything from mild to screaming hot salsa. They got hot mango, sugar-free. They've also got fruit salsas, of course. Summertime, a little bit easier in the heat. Pickles, classic dill, smoky barbecue. Visit them online at twomeninthegarden.com. Enter code MMP at checkout to get free shipping. Learn more about Kitchen Hub STL as well. They've got many partner products. Follow them on social media as well at Two Men Salsa on Instagram and Twitter for the latest updates. Pete, how are we doing? How was your 4th of July? How are you doing? We're back. We thought we'd take a week and a half, every other week. Billiken basketball had other plans, so we're back.
We're back, Zach. We couldn't let it go another week and a half before talking about the open practice that was pretty much the best attended summer anything event that this program has ever held, right?
I mean, it was. I couldn't believe. I couldn't believe it. We're going to talk about that. Is the good this week? The bad. I mean, it's hot. It's hot.
Yeah.
Like, that's about all I got.
Yeah. So I thought you had more to say after.
No, it's just hot.
I agree. It is very hot.
No, that's really all that was kind of bad this weekend or this week. And what are we doing here? The attendance. What do we do? Like, how? We're going to talk about it. I mean, it was shocking walking in, actually just pulling up to the arena. First of all, we need to talk about we're going to talk a little bit about Tim Ream and the U.S. men's national team with a 2-0 win over Bosnia and Herzegovina. Tim Ream was key in one of the team's goals, creating a turnover, and just completely solid. Unbelievable performance.
I think that's really what stood out most to me, Zach, is we saw his presence missing in that Turkey game, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like just not having that anchor back there. Anytime Bosnia started to get anything going, and they did have a couple. There were a couple stretches where they had a flurry here or there, like a couple chances in a row. But those aside, anytime they really started to form something that looks like it might turn into something threatening, he was there to pretty much break it up. And he's been such a steady, solid, confident backline presence that it's really been amazing to watch. And I don't know if having the captain armband just has him operating at another level or what, but like he just looks so like you see all of the experience back there for a guy who is only a few years younger than me. So really, really impressive to watch him in that game. And I thought his presence there was key to that victory.
It's awesome. And Pete, I got the new US jersey, and I went and bought it, and I was like, oh, can I order lettering? And they're like, who do you want? I was like, immediately I was like Ream. And then I was like, wait a minute, I have a Tim Ream jersey. I'm stuck. I don't know which player on this team to go with.
So what did you end up doing?
I haven't decided yet.
Okay, it's
but
blank
but if it's not Ream, I was thinking Flo Balogun, and we just got some wild news into the Midtown Madness newsroom
Yeah.
this afternoon. We're actually recording early on this episode, and it. I mean, this was shocking.
It is shocking, and that is that Flo Balogun's 1 game suspension due to red card has been overturned, and he will be available for Belgium. The way it is worded, Zach, is that it's a 1 year probationary period, right? So if he has a similar violation, then he'll serve the suspension. But that's already kind of the rule, so I don't even understand what that does. Maybe give him an extra game or something like that. But at that point, who cares? I mean, for our purposes, he's available, and that's got to have everybody feeling more confident.
It obviously this is great news, but like it looked really bad. It looks pretty corrupt.
Yeah, did FIFA really give us much of an explanation here?
I don't get it. They didn't like. They were just like after a review. I don't even know if there was a review, but like you end that game right, and this grand um, injustice, if you want to call it that, that Flo is gets a red card and is suspended, and everyone and their moms like, yeah, this can't. There's nothing you can do here. There's no recourse.
Right.
And I think FIFA puts themselves in such a shit position by not having any sort of method in which to appeal
Right.
or a review. Because like if you wake up the next day and you get the news after review of the red card to Flo Balogun, it was noted that there was the rule wasn't followed applicably, or we don't feel it was in the spirit of the rule to suspend. The red card is fine, but the suspension. Give us a freaking explanation. Like apply it to a rule. Like VAR was not applied correctly, or something like that. Or have a process where you can appeal a suspension.
Right. All they have is what's called Article 27 of their Code of Discipline, which says the judicial body may decide to fully or partially suspend the implementation of a disciplinary measure. If the person benefiting from a suspended sanction commits another infringement of a similar nature and gravity during the probationary period, the suspension shall be revoked by the judicial body and the sanction enforced without prejudice to any additional sanction imposed for the new infringement. So their statement about the ruling was, by operation of Article 27 FDC, the implementation of the automatic match suspension for USA player Folarin Balogun is suspended for a probationary period of 1 year. And then US Soccer basically released a statement saying that they accept. And yeah, that's that. There was really nothing beyond that. There was really no why. It was just we had one lever to pull and we pulled it. Now the why is the thing that's going to be hotly debated, Zach, because as you and I
I called this.
well, yeah, but as you and I have mentioned a lot, like FIFA is cartoonishly corrupt, and you already mentioned that like into the lead in here. So the why could be any number of things, and we know that certain people are going to have theories about why that is, and I don't know if we'll ever get the full story. There's definitely going to be people who take credit for it, but I don't know. At the end of the day, Zach, I think this is the right thing, but I don't know if it's hard to feel, feel good about.
It is. This is the correct result, but how the result was attained.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully this was just, I look, I'm not going to sit here and be naive and say this was just FIFA deciding that like the suspension, like, and that's what's hard because it is the correct result in my view.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think the rule from FIFA is that they can essentially just do this at any point. Right. They can just do this. Um, so I guess we followed the rules, but like I don't want it. I want it to be FIFA saying this is a like at worst, right here, right? At worst, I want FIFA to be like, this is going to cost us hundreds of millions of dollars
if they lose. Yeah.
if they lose, right? Um, that and this is why we're going to do this. That's the only reason I want them to solely be thinking about themselves at the worst of corruption. Okay, for me, like if we get into political actors were involved. You got Infantino, which by the way is insane, right?
Yeah.
Is just infant.
Is that the literal translation?
I don't know, but like I'm an American, so I'm gonna Americanize it. And he's gonna have to deal with it. It's like I don't like you got Infantino sitting next to Letnick.
Yeah, right. It does translate.
That's why I
to,
don't. That's why
means,
I don't like the political like people in the boxes with Infantino. Like you can't cross swords, dude.
Yeah, it's the same way with the IOC every time, and that's another organization, like these kind of international sport organizations that really they don't have oversight from any one government, right? So they can kind of be just generally corrupt, and it's just I don't know how to solve that. You're right though, Infantino translates literally to little infant, little baby, or small child, which is really funny. But yeah, Zach, it's just there's no way to if FIFA were smart, what they would have is some kind of appeal system, and then you would have like this paper trail of being able
And
to
they're
say,
not dumb. That's the funny thing.
right, they're not dumb, but like you would be able to say like the US appealed, like USMNT appealed the ruling, we reviewed it, we decided that the one game suspension was overkill for something that was unintentional. And then you can just say that and everyone's fine. And no one has to go, oh, it was this backroom deal or this like when you operate in a black box, but they just that you just make yourself
we talk about
they
this.
don't care. They don't care.
I called this, by the way.
Yeah, sure.
In a message to somebody, you were included in some portion. It might have been in the sluts group chat.
I think that's right.
I said there was going to be some sort of scandal involving like favoritism to the United States here.
How would you? I'll put it. How would you feel if you were a Belgian fan right now?
Man, like that's hard to say. Yeah. I would be pissed. I'd be pissed.
Mm-hmm.
I think on the other hand, like we said, FIFA just has this blanket rule. So like, what are you gonna do? Yeah. But also I want most of the discourse around that Flo Balogun foul was that like that red card was insane.
Yeah, especially given because we've had several other kind of studs out fouls, right? Like stomps or kicks that with the studs out that did not result in red cards, and it just didn't see. It just seemed like they were overly harsh on that one compared to some of the others that have happened in the tournament. So, look, ultimately, I guess it's the right thing. I guess we get what we want. I don't really feel great about.
But you got what you need.
I would have loved to just say they appealed, we agreed, and that's that, and we can all move on. But that's not the world we live in, unfortunately.
Unbelievable.
Yeah,
like it's that simple and infuriating.
Right.
What's your prediction for Belgium?
Let's say St. Louis.
Wow.
Looking at my own.
St. Louis Pelican scores in the 90th minute. That's what you were going to say.
Yeah, Tim Ream on the brain. I'm going to say US 1-0.
Okay. And it's Flo Balogun.
Ooh, that would be quite poetic. But yeah, sure. Let's go with that. What do you got?
Yeah, I think I need to see Trusty again. I like that cat. I want to see him score. But yeah, I think, or maybe a late Gio Reyna sighting
There you go.
1-0 at the
Yeah.
death.
Yeah. Like a super sub goal.
Yeah, yeah. Let's get into this open practice, Pete.
Yeah. Let's
Uh,
do it.
Pete, look, they changed the time from 5 to 7, which I understand and I
Hmm.
appreciated on a different level. Like, that's something I had talked about. It looks like it being the last minute change affected a little bit. I think some people showed up early. But the crowd, well, I was floored pulling up 15 minutes before the start to the Chaffetz lot, and they were putting cones up.
So the Weber lot was full by the time you got
Yes,
there, and it's not like you were late, which is amazing. But also, backing up to the time change, Zach. That had as soon as I saw that happened, I was like, oh no, we're gonna have all the people who are, oh, it's too early, it's too early. Now you're gonna have a bunch of people going, well, that's too late, or there's something else going on, or like I had already planned on 5. Like you're gonna have an equal amount of other people not be able to make it, and that did not seem to be the case at all. The attendance was amazing for this.
yeah. I mean, I saw people parking over in the Harris baseball lot when I pulled like when I was driving up to the lot. I was like, that's weird.
Yeah.
Like people parking over there, why? I guess they're stupid. Um, and no, I ended up having to do that too, and it was crazy. I
Yeah,
did not
for a
expect that at
July
all.
2nd event, July 2nd.
July 2nd, and it was they were like, yeah, it was. I just couldn't believe, like, I was sitting right, like we were all neck, like there were no open seats.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Yeah, it looked really good on the little clips that we saw from some of the members of Press Row. Some of our favorites. So I was really impressed by that. Now, speaking of those clips, did they say anything about people filming or clips or using your phones or anything like that? Okay. All right.
No, I just
I
did. I get caught up and I don't. Plus, I was watching the soccer game.
yeah. So that's okay. Yeah, just curious. So it wasn't like the John Mulaney special I saw or stand-up set I saw a couple months ago where they had strict no phone rules. Like if people saw you with your phone out, you could have been thrown out of the show.
Oh
Like
wow,
on the back of like
good. I mean, good. Yeah.
every third or fourth seat was like do not record, don't bring your phone out. Um, which was interesting. But I wasn't sure, given how early it is in the season, and some of these coaches don't want people to see what they're doing. If they had,
They heard sign guy couldn't make it, so they weren't worried about anybody else.
yeah, he's the one who would have who would have filmed a little bit more. But yeah, anyway, just curious about that, Zach. So then, what was the format like for this? Like, did they kind of stick with one team, or how'd they do this?
I to be honest, I didn't really like pay attention to the times and like I was just watching the basketball. I didn't
Hmm.
look at the score or anything like that. But I think they did two or three 12s and 6 minutes
Hmm. So like
for
three
like a fight.
periods.
I thought they did three 12s,
Yeah. Okay.
but I don't. I my memory's hazy on that. Because like 12 and 6 would have been 24 30 minutes. That would have been 30 minutes. I think they scrimmaged for longer than 30 minutes because it didn't end till 8:30.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, I'm sure were
Eight.
stopping the clock and
No, it was no, they did running clock. It
oh,
was
they did. Oh,
yeah, I
wow.
thought it was
Okay.
three 12s. But I know they changed up the rosters a bit.
Hmm.
It was interesting to see kind of I was again another one of those times where I'm like, I don't know who's who yet. I have no idea. Completely lost.
But apparently they gave you kind of a
Yes,
nice info
yes.
sheet, right?
I didn't grab one because, I don't think that far ahead. Um, but yeah, it had the roster and then it had pictures of the players, which was cool.
Yeah.
Um, And yeah, it was had a QR code for the to order season tickets.
Nice.
So that was good. Yeah, I it was they had pretzels. That's all I remember seeing.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, they had like a snack table in the corner, which was interesting
Okay. So,
for the players. I'm sorry, like a hydration, like a fuel station.
sure, sure, sure. Now, yeah, I think some of that has to do with they're using these devices to measure hydration levels, like these armbands, and that
Ooh,
they go over there and make sure they're getting their hydration to where it needs to be. Um, so I
that's
had heard,
fantastic.
yeah,
It's
right.
funny because I've been like harping on this for 2 years now.
You have, and I think they're listening to you, Zach. They're
I,
making sure
I
everybody's at the right levels.
guys, the evidence is just continues to pile up.
Your good ideas. You gotta start getting paid for them, man.
That's what I'm saying, man. SIUE, hire me.
So we got your observations coming in, right? Like the parking
Yeah.
situation. But let's start getting your observations of the actual gameplay, the players, what they were doing. What were your observations from here, Zach? And then we'll start getting into some of what the those media members had to share.
Pete, for those wondering what it would have looked like for Yuri Collins to play for Josh Schertz,
Mm,
you are going to see that this season. Magic Mel is every bit the point guard that Yuri Collins was as a freshman.
wow. Would you
Every
say
bit.
he's got a similar game? Or do they kind of look different out there or what?
They're both small. Um, no, I think. I mean, he finds those passes that you don't see.
Hmm.
Um, I don't know about a similar game. He can play more off the ball. It
Okay.
feels like he does work off the ball a lot more. No, but I thought he was awesome.
I'm trying to find a more recent listing of his size. 6'2" is the most recent one I can find,
Sure,
which would make
whatever.
him a
Sure,
little bigger than Yuri, a
sure.
couple inches taller. Okay. All right. Yeah, I'm excited to get into some of the other kind of observations about him,
Yeah,
but he seems like kind of, I guess I would say, the most buzzed about player, generally speaking, from the
the
crowd.
freshman class
Yeah,
specific.
I mean, look, like we know, and we'll get to this, that McCautry and Thames put up the biggest numbers, but I think like you're the guy who's going to stand out, right, is typically going to be the guy who you didn't have the same level of expectations with going in. Like those guys are good and are going to be in the top of the rotation, but you don't really know yet what you have in the freshmen until you see them, right?
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, like I, yeah, I don't know. I haven't seen much hype about any of the freshmen, to be honest.
Hmm.
But I mean, maybe I just haven't been paying attention.
I think it's mostly like when we signed them. And Thomas is kind of the quietest one because it was back in the fall. So you get a little more hype around guys like Pearson, who I guess is, red shirt freshman coming from Marquette, or Jameson White because he's local, things like that. So with Thomas, it's been more kind of simmering in the background, and he didn't really play. Um, he didn't really play, his senior year because of a broken rib. But let's get to Thames and McCautry because they were the top scorers, Zach. And I know we've already remarked upon some of the physicality and what these guys are doing with their shot, but like, what did you see out of those two?
I mean, Thames looks like he's just the same guy, maybe better,
Mm,
maybe a better shot. He's as bouncy as ever. I think he had at least two off the backboard alley oops,
yeah.
or somebody did. But anyway, and then McCautry's arms I thought looked smaller than in the pictures, but
Okay.
I mean, maybe Jordan Neisler's doing a little touch up on those.
He's
Maybe
got
he's giving a little extra juice.
a little Popeye filter on the
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
okay.
Popeye. Sharma and Green, they hit some of their signature shots.
Hmm.
Green hit one from 40 feet, I think,
Yeah,
or something like that. And then Sharma hit one where he was falling out of bounds. Um, and then Lachkowski, I thought he showed other dimensions to his game besides just being a shooter in the cutter.
yeah,
Um, he showed some physicality, showed some rebounding. I think he blocked a shot.
he did.
And then Badara, I saw some flashes in there that I liked and I thought are interesting, and I think he might. Again, I think looking back to when he was signed, like I think it's obvious that he's not some slouch big man that's it's gonna take till senior year to get him going.
Sure.
Like I think he's gonna contribute in a lot of ways this season.
That's great to hear.
Um, I thought the finishing was good at the rim. It's still there. There were some circus shots. I think if we can make you know half of the shots we shouldn't make, and make all the shots we should make, I think we're in really really good shape. Um, and then it felt like we took a lot less threes.
Yeah, and I think some of that might have to do with this format, right? Like, the defense isn't going to be quite where it needs to be this time of year. And
Yeah.
I think he's stressing to the new guys, especially our option one is no dribble layups, right? Like that's what they're trying to design in this offense is to get you as many looks at the rim as possible with as little resistance as possible. So I think that's part of it, and that open threes and whatever else comes is a byproduct of hunting those shots. So I think probably that is something that's been stressed to those guys. And when you're playing a kind of a looser scrimmage and you're switching rosters and it's early July, you're just not going to run into the defensive resistance that you will as things get more serious when the season gets closer.
So Timmerman, Durando, Rocchio, and Earl Austin all had takes. How do we want to approach this? Because I don't want to just read their takes.
No, I know what you mean, Zach. Timmerman just gave a few thoughts. His biggest takeaway was that the fans are clearly on board and that the team is very athletic, but also pretty sloppy, which I guess is fair for July, right?
Yeah, yeah, that's gonna happen. I think it took like 5 minutes to score.
In the first one, the first frame.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I heard there were a lot of turnovers. So that's something that kind of plagued
Yes,
this team
yes.
last year.
I think you're just gonna have a lot of turnovers. That's just how it's gonna be.
Do you mean like in the whole season or just because it's this early on or what?
In general, just with the style of play.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. I think I think like it's we're never going to have as few turnovers as we did back in like the Brad Soderberg days where he was shooting
No.
for 10 or fewer a game and we're playing a slow style on a 35-second shot clock. But I think Schertz's number is 17%. You want to be below 17% of possessions with turnovers. So I still think that's a reasonable thing to shoot for. But you're right. It's a more turnover prone style, and it's going to happen. Timmerman also listed the top scorers. Thames had 25. Now, he was tracking these by player that some of these happened in one game or the other with different combinations. So
Right.
take from it what you will. But Thames had 25 to lead everybody. Then McCautry at 21, Lachkowski at 15, Green at 14, and then Sharma at 13. I think we had a number of guys in kind of the 8 to 10 range. So I remember seeing a lot of guys with 10. So yeah, that was kind of the leading scorers. I think we got the most
Well,
thoughts those.
hold on though. If he, I mean, Thames had 25 points. He led the team in scoring.
Yes.
What
Yeah,
the hell? What the hell?
and he did it on 11 of 13 shooting. The only two misses, Zach, were
With
3-point
threes.
attempts. Yeah, he was 1 for 3 of 3, which honestly, 33%. If we get him, At 33%
That's
this season, I'm fine with that. If we, especially on a little higher volume, I think he was 3 of 12 all of last season. So if we can get 33% and he's taking a couple of game, I'm okay with that.
that's crazy.
Right, because it just means he's a threat from out there. But that means he was 10 of 10 from two, which again, we just mentioned that the defense is
I'll take
not what
it.
you're going to face in January, but like, good Lord, 10 of
I
10
will
of
take it.
yeah, he's a finisher.
I think he's serviceable. 10 of 10 serviceable.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. So Rockio said the defense is going to need some work, but the post-practice conversation was basically about how this is the most athletic team we've ever had. And then he got into, back to Magic Mel. Thomas stole the show with his highlight plays, including
Oh,
three
sorry.
alley-oops.
Two of them were I think both of the off the backboards were to Diakite.
That's right. Yeah, two of them were. Yeah, yeah. So, and then he said this kid is electric
Yeah.
with the ball in his hands.
Yeah.
So, sounds like you're in
Absolutely.
agreement there. Yeah.
Yes.
I can't wait to get more clips of him. I think
Uh,
that's going to be fun. What I do like in the clips I
well,
see is his head is on his eyes are constantly moving. His head's on a swivel. He seems like he's got really good awareness and a lot of confidence with the ball in his hands.
yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see what his minutes turn out to be and how they evolve over the season. But the leaders of this team, according to Rockio, are Thames and McCautry. Those are, I mean, if you had captains, I think everybody would kind of, you know what, I always thought Green maybe, but um, I'm a Trey Green guy now.
It
I
could
I have residency on Trey Green Island.
it really could end up being Green over the course of the season too, right? Like McCautry and Thames, if it's like last season, it was rare that both of them were really firing on all cylinders in the same game. Like there would be a big Thames game or a couple in a row, and it was the same with McCautry. Like you'd get a huge game or two out of him, but I feel like you didn't get that consistently game to game to game, and maybe we will see a little more consistency out of Trey Green as he's working on those other aspects of his game, besides just shooting and taking on a little bit more of a like kind of vocal leadership role as he's more of a senior player here. Although I guess technically junior, if you got a red shirt. But Thames was said to be the biggest show stealer in Matt's book. Came up in the clutch to help his team win in one period. He said McCautry had a great start, but ended up with 6 turnovers. But he did comment that his shot and his on-ball defense both look better. So he definitely, as a third team all A10 player, if he can if he can start layering in those other dimensions to his game, I mean, that's really, really dangerous for the rest of the league.
Yeah, I mean, if he can shore up the turnovers and
Yeah.
just the kind of the mental lapses or the misplays, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
I don't want to harp on the guy because I don't think he's that bad, but like I don't think he's bad enough to harp on is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Um, but I think even if he just builds in consistency to his game, he becomes unbelievable.
Yeah. No, I completely agree. And if he can kind of develop a little bit more of a shot, to where teams actually have to honor him out to the 3-point line, that's going to change things too.
I talked about Lachkowski earlier. Rockio kind of said it better. He mentioned Lachkowski's defense. He stole the ball. Rockio mentions passing lanes. You know, I just that's where I really saw him kind of multi-dimensional and that I did maybe a 3-and-D guy, but I also think he can bring toughness and get to the rim.
Well, he's such a smart player, and that's where those like the latch cut and his off ball work comes offensively, is he just really understands the game. But I think the thing that stood out to people in this that they didn't quite realize, right, is yes, he's listed at 6'8", and he's clearly taller than like a Jimerson or some of the other perimeter players we've had over the years. But his wingspan is really long. So when you're a smart player who kind of understands the game, and you've also got that kind of reach, he's a step ahead, right? And he's able to get into those passing lanes, jump those passing lanes. In this case, he also blocked a shot, but I think he had 3 steals, created a couple more turnovers, and with the shot block, you go, okay, this is a more dynamic player than we realized. So add that to some perfect shooting form on the other end, and he's a really dangerous sub who, we haven't seen yet, and the league hasn't seen yet. I'm very, very high on his long-term potential, and even his potential later this season. And come off mute, Zach.
Sorry, trying to eat. Um, I wanted to talk about Trey Green a little bit more. 4 of 8 from three. Rocky says he appears to be getting more comfortable with the group. I do want to shout him out. I watched the Steph Curry movie, The GOAT.
The GOAT, yeah.
And it reminded me of our conversation with Trey. The whole the MacGuffin of the movie is he's a goat. Well, not MacGuffin, I don't know, whatever. He's a goat. He's small, and he has to learn to shoot over the big animals that he plays against.
Mm-hmm.
So he puts the arc on the shot or moves side. And I just thought it was very funny. Trey had pretty much given us obviously Steph Curry lived it, but it was just very funny to hear the story played out by Trey. So I had to stop and chat up Trey and tell him, ask if he'd watched it, and tell him if he hadn't to definitely check it out.
My kids liked it a lot. I know that much.
Yeah, if you have it's nothing new, but it's fun and funny and entertaining.
And in addition to that, I think a lot of the conversation around Green coming out of this is, he's looking to get more comfortable with this new group and learn this group, but he wants to play pro ball. And when you're his size, it's tough. You have to have more to your game than just a shot. And so for him, that is being able to handle the ball inside, to finish inside, but also to limit turnovers and to get more involved as a playmaker and not just as a scorer. So so that's something he's got to, getting comfortable with these new guys is gonna be really meaningful for him.
Sharma, he went through. Rockio talked about his 3 of 5 from three. I also thought, he talked about his added muscle. I mean, again, I think he's just another player that came in as a 3-point shooter and has turned out to be much more than that. He mentions Cam Hudson. He finally made a shot. I don't think I've seen Cam Hudson. He kind of just feels like a practice hero. You know what I mean? Like a practice legend. Because they kind of rave about him and they seem to really be high on him. But I think we as Billiken fans haven't seen enough of him.
Yeah, and I really like the clips of him. He sure looks the part to me when I see their practice clips. He scored 10 here. Baracchio said his handles are really tight now. He's able to kind of get lower and he seems like a lot more disciplined with the way he's handling the ball. But also that his defense is ahead of the other young players. So I think there's a couple reasons why he'll probably see the floor before some of the other young guys who we haven't seen as much of yet. So I think he could be kind of one of those sneaky guys, right? We haven't talked as much about him. He's not new. He's kind of in a position where you kind of get lost in the conversation, but we could see him kind of sneak his way into the rotation, Zach, as that valuable wing kind of player.
Diakite, he talks about being a lanky wing, shooting stroke of a guard. I definitely did like his shot a lot.
Yeah,
I thought that was definitely noticeable.
That's been a surprise for me. I did not know he was going to have that in his toolkit when he got here.
McKaylee, he talked about him being the most involved big man. I thought so as well. He's just an interesting looking player.
Yeah, but people have also said there's a reason why you haven't heard much about his defense, and that's got a long way to go. But that offensively, he might be more comfortable than any of the other bigs at this point. So he's just going to be one of those guys, right, where you're going to love him on one end and get frustrated with him on the other. So hopefully the defense catches up in a short amount of time.
Dear Lord, please.
Yeah.
Um, Strong. I mean, like, I he's he's one of the guys that kind of got lost for me.
Hmm. Yeah.
Not like I just didn't notice him.
Yeah, and he's an interesting player, right? Because he's not the kind of player I thought we would go get in the portal. He's a bit of an undersized big. He loves to shoot mid-range jumpers, and apparently he missed a couple of them in this scrimmage. So that's something they got have to coach out of him. Um, but he also, according to Rockio, moves really well. He's got that kind of consistency, hustle, and awareness. So he kind of gets it overall, right? And I think he led the team in assists in this game with six of them. So he's doing something, especially at the offensive end. But I could see how you could say that, right? Because like there's just physically and just the way he plays, there's nothing that leaps out and is super exciting about his game, I think.
Rockio mentioned that the Kerr is playing in Robbie's old trigger spot, which I think I was expecting that. I
Yeah.
expected that from the moment he stepped on campus.
Mhm.
White, he talked about his smoothness and his raw athleticism, but mentions a lack of awareness that needs to catch up.
Yeah. Yeah, for
Um,
sure. Just
Pier-
an exciting upside on him for sure.
and then why don't you finish off his thoughts on
Yeah, he also said Pearson showed flashes, but has a ways to go. Had a couple kind
Mickey?
of yeah, Mickey, that's it's going to be hard for me to get over that because I
It
feel like
really is.
he was such an institution as a Travis Ford recruit who never actually wound up coming here. But yeah, he had a couple baby giraffe moments and then a couple brilliant moments. So it's just going to take a little bit of time. He also said Ahmad would redshirt, but if this 5-5 thing is happening, technically no one actually redshirts. So I think he's just saying he's the last guy right now, which I think is not a huge surprise. He thinks Jones, Green, McCautry, Thames, and Sharma are locks for the top six of the rotation, and that Kerr and McHaley also could start at center. Strong, Lechkowski, and Hudson are his next three off the bench after those top seven. And then Diakite, Pearson, White, and Thomas are the 11 to 14 guys in his big swings category who, maybe you could see one of them pop this season, but he's not counting on it quite yet. So that those are Rockio's thoughts, Zach. I think he gave us a pretty nice summary overall.
Yeah, always great. Great stuff from Rockio. Um, the Billikens added a closed door scrimmage against Iowa to the preseason schedule. Again, McCollum, stop being a wussy. Um,
Make it a regular season game.
yeah. Um, Teams are now allowed to play three exhibition games. Bradley and Nebraska are the other two, and those will be open to the public. Pete, give us some recruiting news, and then tell us about Two Men in a Garden.
One new offer out this week, Zach, and it's to a 2027 player, so a rising senior, and his name's Aaron Britt Jr., who's a 6'2" point guard from the Villages Charter School in Florida, and Trey Man Elite, which is a Puma program. He's really just kind of a complete point guard, elite passer, playmaker. He's crafty. He's got vision, intelligence, hits the three, but he also gets downhill and finishes. If this staff offers a smaller point guard, they really like his game, right? So
Isn't that the same Villages? Is this our second guy from the Villages?
yeah, because Miles Simpson moved down there. Actually, if you remember Hurley Brutus, who we offered last year, and unfortunately for our friend Box and One, did not commit to SLU, but is an all name teamer. But no, Miles Simpson from Webster Groves went down there, transferred down there, and then for some reason reclassified from 2028 to 29. Although I don't know if he'll actually stay in that class, but he was a 5-star kid. And so, anyway, we'll still be monitoring him as well. So that's actually 3 guys now who we've recruited out of this like Villages charter school, which I think originally existed for the employees of the Villages, which, if you're familiar with the Villages, is the nation's largest planned retirement community. Literally tens of thousands of retired senior citizens, Zach. And I know you're saying funny stuff, but you're on mute.
A lot of syphilis.
Maybe go back on mute. Never mind. Anyway, Aaron Britt, like I said, if it's a small point guard, they like his game a lot. The other offers he's got right now, there's a lot, but Dayton, Marquette, Butler, Providence, Tennessee, Ole Miss, Mississippi State, Miami, Florida State, Virginia Tech, Georgia Tech, Cal, Kansas, Texas Tech, UNLV, and a bunch more. So he's got a ton of offers. They're getting into a crowded pool. If memory serves, he's like a top 75-ish recruit in the class. So really good player. And I think they're just counting on some of these guys, these high school guys, to not be as much of a priority when it's actually time to sign for a lot of those other programs. So we've said it before, we'll say it again, but this is kind of a zone where SLU could really, really thrive. So yeah, he'll be one to watch, but that's the only other new recruit this week, Zach. And our summertime men's basketball coverage has been presented, as always, by Two Men in a Garden. I hope you got a chance. I know a lot of people who listen to this show and who interact on Discord and Billikens.com and all of those places are from that kind of Kirkwood corridor of the of St. Louis County, Kirkwood, Webster, and all those other places around there. And so hopefully you got a chance to go out to the Kirkwood Farmers Market this 4th of July and see our friends at Two Men in a Garden. And if not, be sure and follow them on Instagram and their other social media to see where they're going to be next. I know they've been at Tower Grove and a lot of the other farmers markets in the area, but they're great people. They've got great stuff, and maybe you can find some stuff at a farmers market location that you couldn't online. But if you're going to go online to twomeninagarden.com, be sure and enter our code MMP at checkout for free shipping, and let them know in the comments that we sent you. We'd really appreciate it. And I know they would too. Twomeninagarden.com.
Women's basketball is going to I guess they have an open practice, not open practice.
Right.
July 14th, just 3 days shy of my birthday. Thank you for that present, Rebecca Tillett. The doors will open at 6:30. Practice will start at 7. The women's soccer schedule is out. They start off with an exhibition game at Missouri State on August 8th. They open at home on August 12th against Alabama. Is that an exhibition, or is that just the home opener?
So I don't know. I was trying to like with the men, I could kind of tell the first 2 were definitely exhibitions just based on last year's calendar and this one. But this Alabama game is kind of right on the line. I think they started their season on the 14th last year, and this is on August 12th. So it might be an exhibition, but I haven't confirmed yet.
Sunday, August 16th will be against Lindenwood at home. And then they head on the road for 4 games across Missouri, Illinois, and Indiana. They will take on Mizzou on 8/20. They will head to Champaign to take on Illinois on 8/27. They will go to Bloomington on 8:30 to play Indiana. And then they will head to Illinois State on 9/3. They will come back home. Well, Pete, by the way, that's such an interesting list of schools. It's almost like you're just like, yeah, we're the best in this area. We're going to go ahead and prove it. 3 games in a row.
I love
on the road.
One of the things I did, Zach, was to kind of put the RPI in here to kind of give it context. And SLU is a way better program typically than Mizzou, Indiana, and Illinois State. Really, Illinois is the only one that would be a peer in terms of the RPI. They were a top 40 team last year. So that'll be the one mostly to watch out of those.
They'll come back home and play SEMO and Kansas on September 9th and 12th. Then A10 play will open with VCU on 9/19. They'll head to Dayton on 9/24. They will only get Dayton on the road this year. 9/27, George Mason will come to town. That'll be homecoming. I wonder what they'll do with homecoming, whether it'll be whether they'll I would hope they'll do the men's game Saturday night and or whatever. I don't know. You know what I'm talking about. If you know, you know.
Yeah, I do. It looks like the so that's Sunday. So
Okay.
that's Sunday
Yeah.
afternoon.
Yes.
So
Okay.
just
Then
flipping
they're
over
going to
to the
have
men, I'm
men.
sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Men's soccer Saturday night, women's Sunday.
That's right.
That is
That's exactly right.
okay. All right. October 3rd at Davidson. Back home, October 8th against St. Joe's. October 11th at Loyola. Back home for the 17th against Richmond. And then they'll head to LaSalle on the 22nd and Duquesne on the 25th, followed by senior night on Halloween against Rhode Island. The A10 tournament will be November 6th through the 15th. And I would assume that would be host site. Like, top seed will be the host.
Yeah, I'm pretty
Higher
sure that's how they
seed.
have it structured again this year. And I think it's all the way through. It's not just like whoever the better seed is every single round. So there's a chance they could play 3 or 4 games at
Yeah.
home in that.
Pete, that's going to do it, man. That's all I got.
Yeah, that's it for this week, Zach. But like we said before, we just couldn't wait to talk to everybody about that scrimmage and what you saw.
Yep. We will see you. I don't know. Maybe next week. Maybe then. Who knows? In the next couple weeks, we will see you. Roll Bills.
Roll Bills.